Welcome back to Gold Derby. Joyce, it feels like we just spoke.
Did we though?
Well, I guess it depends. Did we? It's what is time? Isn't that like an everything everywhere thing? I don't
Time
even
is a
know.
flat circle.
Good segue to TV, Joyce, because that's what we're talking about. The Golden Globes, not just about film. They're also giving out TV awards again, or always, but now this year they'll be televised. So we're excited about that. Like we were talking here briefly, it seemed a little like a lot of Emmy in that they watched like two or three things.
They watch a little bit more than Emmys. The Emmys watch 4 shows. They watch about like 8 or 9 shows here.
I think so.
Yeah, and also there are new shows because it's different cycle eligibility period.
Right.
So some new shows.
I didn't do great in TV. I got 64%, it looks like, in my predictions, and we'll see why, because a lot of misses. But we'll start with drama, Joyce, because we love the drama. The nominees were Better Call Saul, The Crown, House of the Dragon, Ozark, and Severance.
So I hate myself because, as you know, when we did this last week, I had that 5.
You did.
And then last night, even though I was like, they don't really like Ozark, but I just picked it. Last night, I dropped it for Bad Sisters. Bad move by me.
Tough
I could have gotten this whole category right.
Tough beat. I had Yellowstone, which I missed, and then I had Andor, which I put in last minute. I threw a Hail Mary for Andor in a couple of spots, and I made 1 out of 2 right moves. So
a wash, sure.
Yeah, I mean, House of the Dragon, I think, did really well. Severance, we expected to see here. The Crown, actually, I would say underperformed, Joyce.
The Crown, no, it got in. It got the amount of nominations I was predicting it for. Wasn't I? I don't remember.
So it got.
It got 4, which I think most people had, like 3 acting and series.
Right.
So.
But not this next acting, Joyce, because this is one where I had it in, and it didn't.
This is one where I dropped it last night too.
For actor in a drama, I guess I'll do next. The nominees were Jeff Bridges for The Old Man, Kevin Costner for Yellowstone, Diego Luna for Andor, Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul, and Adam Scott for Severance. And again, I got 3 out of 5 because I dropped Kevin Costner for Diego Luna, and I should have dropped Patty Constantine for Diego Luna, but I just thought House of the Dragon would do really well, and then Dominic West, obviously, I had into.
Yeah, I never thought House of the Dragon, like we discussed last week, would do that well because they were never into Game of Thrones. They only ever gave it to Peter Dinklage. That's it. The show never won. So I figured like they'll nominate for series and like maybe an acting, and I picked the wrong acting category. So this I got 3 out of 5. I got Bob, Adam, and Jeff. And then I don't remember who I had, but then I made.
Well, you must have had Dominic, right?
No, I did have Dominic, but I dropped him last night.
You had Jason Bateman, I believe.
I did have yes, you're correct. I had Jason Bateman, so I dropped both of them because I was like, I don't think they're gonna do Dominic for Charles. I think like he's too hot for them.
We talked about
that for Charles, not for them, but for Charles. And the season, as we've discussed last week, the season mixed response.
That's classy. I like that. Yeah.
So I dropped him, but then do you want to know who I replaced them with?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Where's my thing? I replaced them with Jacob Anderson from Interview with the Vampire.
Wow, that would have been a really good one.
I know, and Lee Min-ho from Pachinko, which I think was on the table. That makes.
I think so. Yeah. Yes.
But so those were my swaps.
Very good swaps. For actress in a drama series, the nominees were Emma D'Arcy, Laura Linney, Imelda Staunton, Hilary Swank for Alaska Daily, and Zendaya for Euphoria. So I got 4 out of 5. I had Britt Lower and not Britt Lauer and not Hilary Swank. So
I had 3 out of 5 here because I had Sharon Horgan for Bad Sisters.
You really went in on Bad Sisters.
I know. I only had her, and then I was like, I'm gonna put the show in. Why not? And then I dropped Elizabeth Moss for Melanie Linsky for Yellow
I thought
Jackets,
of putting Melanie Linsky in too,
which is eligible, even though it did not air that many episodes.
Right.
Like this calendar year.
I thought of that too, but then I was just like, I think they're just going to not bother.
Yeah, that's why I initially didn't have Yellow Jackets at all.
Right.
So, but then I was like, I don't like I put her instead of Lizzie because I felt like Lizzie was too old.
Right.
But yeah, I would have said, like we talked about this last week, I would have said Imelda was winning this before the season.
So now who do you think is gonna win?
I don't know.
Tough category. I mean, I could see Zendaya winning, but we'll see.
If Zendaya winning would just be them like piggybacking off of the Emmys because
Right.
they had never cared about Euphoria before.
It's a new Globes, Joyce. It's a new day.
Is it though? Is it?
That's what they've said.
It has more people, but it's still very Globes. I think a lot of people had a lot of hopes for the new members, but I wouldn't say any of these nominations in film or TV are drastically different. I don't know. I don't think they would give it to Emma. Laura would kind of be like a Tracy Ellis Ross Blackish type of win, just kind of like out of nowhere for like an old, in this case, dead show. Hilary Swank would be wild, but
I mean, Hilary Swank could win, I guess.
That would be very funny if she won.
Just because if they picked Emma's non-binary, so this would be an example where a category where, like we've said with like the LA and New York, or LA and Independent Spirit Awards and Gotham Awards, I guess, were all non-binary this year.
And like they chose to submit an actress.
Yes. So they could win an actress even though they
but if you recall, Hilary beat Imelda way back when, 18 years ago, in the film side for $1 Million Baby when she was up for Vera.
I mean, I gotta say, based on, like we said, The Crown and Imelda in The Crown, no fault of her own, not a big year for Queen Elizabeth. If you told me Hilary Swank was going to win here, I would not be the least bit surprised.
That would also be huge for ABC.
I kind of think she could, because like you said, they never really liked Euphoria, and like it does feel like a toss-in nomination here, right? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because it also in the same vein, they never liked Veep, and you know, JLD just kept racking up Emmys, and they never gave it to her for Veep here.
And like you said, they don't really like Ozark. So, I mean, Hilary Swank, I might have her in first when we're doing our first round of picks here. I'm just saying. It's so left field that, like, the fact that she's there is telling you that she could win. That would be my take. I don't think... do you think anybody had her predicted? I'm sure somebody had to. A lot of people were doing predictions.
I have no idea. What were her odds? They were probably
100 to 1, probably. Yeah.
I don't know. But... yeah, but then for like actor, we don't talk about drama actor winners. I would love for Bob to win, obviously.
I have Bob winning too. I think Adam Scott would make another compelling win as well, but I think Bob would win, especially because they got the show in.
Yeah.
Like Ray didn't get nominated, spoiler alert, as we'll do in a little bit, but like I still think the show was performed well by getting in.
I would love for him and the show to win,
right?
Because I don't know if The Crown is gonna win. Like I
think House of the Dragon might win. I know they don't like Game of Thrones, but I do think that's like the buzziest show.
I would put Severance before House of the Dragon.
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, like my dream, like I said last week, would be for Better Call Saul to win, like the Americans did for its last season,
right?
And in that case, that like Matthew Rhys was coming off his Emmy win, but he lost to the Globe to Richard Madden for Bodyguard.
Hilary Swank is the new Richard Madden, maybe, Joyce.
But that doesn't mean anything for Bob.
No, I'm just saying. For best comedy series, musical comedy, the nominees were Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks, Only Murders, and Wednesday.
Our Joyce, beloved CW show with Addams Family IP, Wednesday.
So I got 4 out of the 5. I had Barry in 5th, but I said Wednesday seemed like the obvious 6th. And
yeah, I'm not shocked that Barry was snubbed. No. Even though I love Barry, my fave.
Right.
But they've never really been into Barry. It just doesn't. It does. I feel like its tone and style doesn't really fit their vibe.
Right.
So I'm not shocked that it's snubbed. But yeah,
I think Abbott could win here pretty easily.
Yeah. Abbott can win. I would say like Abbott or The Bear.
Hacks. What about Only Murders? I mean, also did really well, but
It is, but I don't think it's not like new enough.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I do. Yeah. I mean, I think that's true. I think here's where the bear could actually win. So that's why I would put Abbott in for comedy series.
I mean, they do like pairs, so like the bear and Jeremy can win together too,
for
or
actor.
Abbott and Quinta.
Right. Well, let's do that first. The actress in a musical comedy. The nominees were Quinta Brunson for Abbott, Kelly Cuoco for The Flight Attendant, Joyce, Selena Gomez for Only Murders, Jenny Ortega for Wednesday, and Jean Smart for Hacks. I got 4 out of the 5. I had Christina Applegate instead of Kelly Cuoco.
I had Christina and Rachel. So yeah, so I had Jean, Quinta, and Jenna. So deserve a nomination for Kaylee. Good get for her because she was really good in season 2 of The Flight Attendant.
Yeah.
So nice, good for her to hang on. She's not winning.
No, I think. I mean, obviously, like Jean Smart would be like the person you would think would win, but I think, like you said, I think Quinta Brunson win here. I really think Jenny Ortega could win here, honestly.
She would definitely, if this were like 10 years ago, I would say Jenna would win because they love like the new show Ingenue.
Mm-hmm. And they nominated the show.
Yes, so you want like your show nominated. So I don't think Wednesday would win.
No.
But it doesn't matter if like, or not matter, but like if they were just pairing actor and series, then she doesn't need her show to win too. Like she could just win on her own. But that's definitely something they like doing. Like they did it to both CW gals, Gina Rodriguez and Rachel Bloom.
I could see Jenny winning, and I could see Jenna winning, and I could see Abbott winning, and Quinta would obviously get recognized in that capacity, if I was guessing.
Yeah. One thing I do love is that like last year they put Hannah Einbinder in lead.
Yes.
And now they're like, oh yeah, you could stay in supporting. Yeah.
So let's do the next one. We have Best Actor in a Television Series, Musical, or Comedy. Donald Glover for Atlanta, Bill Hader for Barry, Steve Martin and Martin Short for Only Murders, and Jeremy Allen White for The Bear. Another 4 out of 5 for me, Joyce. I had Keegan-Michael Key for Reboot instead of Donald Glover.
Your favorite show.
Yes.
Yeah, I had another former champ, Rami Youssef.
Right.
So yeah, but Jeremy, congratulations on your Globe.
Seems like pretty locked in.
I mean, yeah. Well, now everyone's just complaining about like The Bear not being funny.
Right.
So
well, what are you gonna do? For limited series, Joyce, these are the nominees: Blackbird, Dahmer, The Dropout, Pam and Tommy, and The White Lotus. And I got 3 out of 5 because I had George and Tammy and Fleischman is in Trouble, which I went down with the ship on. I don't care.
You were all in on both of those shows. I had 5 for 5 here, but then last night I made some changes. So I dropped The Dropout for This Is Going to Hurt. So I got 4 out of 5. So the other 4.
Joyce, you know what finished last night? White Lotus. You know what show rules? White Lotus.
Yeah, I know what finished last night.
It's so good. It's the best show. It's definitely the best of these shows here, I would argue, and I think it will probably win. But
well, The White Lotus definitely did better this year than last year when it only got in for Jennifer Coolidge.
I think it'll win here, and I think I could make a case for a few of the others, certainly, but I do think it'll win here in the end.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see Blackbird winning.
The only other one I thought would be Blackbird, and then also Dahmer, because it's the biggest hit, obviously.
And they do like Ryan.
Right. So, but I think the juice of The White Lotus and the...
But it's also another case of like, do they care about playing catch up? Like, is the nomination for the series enough for them?
Well, I think they're going to think it's like, this is the new series. So it's not like they're playing catch up. They're now honoring.
But it's still the brand.
It's still the brand, but it is a different show. I mean, the brand is like just
that doesn't matter.
I would say. Truly, it's like I don't think there's that much. The show's goals in the second season were different than the first season. It is actually more. I mean, the characters.
No, I understand. It's an anthology series that had the same character in both seasons.
Right.
But I do think like it missed last year because it was just more competitive last year, because it was the new show of the fall last year, but it was competing against the previous Emmy season's contenders, and that's why it missed. But it still got just one nomination last year. So it could just be like not their type of thing, or they could just want to do something different and not rubber stamp a 10-time Emmy winner.
I think the other thing, though, I would say in its favor is that it's the newest one of these. And like it's the one that everybody's talking about right now and will probably still be for another week or so. So
another week or so.
Well, nothing lasts forever. But I do think that helps. And I think for something like the Dropout and Pam and Tommy, I definitely would not predict because they're just too out of sight and mind. They're Blackbird and Dahmer are relatively new, but not as new as White Lotus. So I don't know. For actress in a limited series, anthology, or motion picture made for television, Joyce. Jessica Chastain for George and Tammy, Julia Garner for Inventing Anna, Lily James for Pam and Tommy, Julia Roberts for Gaslit, and Amanda Seyfried for The Dropout. And I got 3 out of 5 again. I had Emily Blunt for The English, and I had Claire Danes for Fleischman's in Trouble, who did get a Golden Globe nomination, which is not in this category. So there you go.
So I haven't seen that show, but from people I've talked to, they have said she's supporting. So
absolutely supporting.
Why you put her in lead?
Because we had her in lead.
But
that's why we had her in lead, so I put her in. Didn't matter to me that she's supporting. She was there.
Okay, sure.
That's it. She's absolutely supporting, though.
I had 3 out of 5 too, and I would have had 4 out of 5. So another change that I fucked myself.
Joyce, you gotta stop doing these last minute changes.
I know, but it worked out for me in film.
Yeah, it did.
So I got
the top. Joyce, you were the top. I'm talking to the top expert.
Oh yeah, that's me.
You.
I got the most right.
You got the most right. I'm so proud. Proud to know you.
Did not get them. I don't think I got the most right here. Definitely not, because I would have maybe if I didn't make any changes. But I dropped Julia Garner for Alicia Vikander.
Wow.
Who I did have before. So I guess if I had just kept her, it wouldn't have mattered.
Right.
But I'm happy my girl Julia Roberts got in.
We love Julia Roberts. Love to see it.
I know, and I was like, they love the Globes love stars.
Yes.
Z and S, and she is definitely S star at the end, plural.
Yes. Yeah, nothing else. I mean, who do you think would win here?
I can see Amanda just sweeping.
Kind of, right? It seems.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I would say the Emily Blunt miss is kind of big-ish, or I don't know, as surprising. Maybe, I don't know. That show wasn't big, but it felt like something they would go for, and they do like her.
So that show wasn't big. I guess it's big-ish if you only think more people would pay attention to it, right? It does feel like it would just get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I think it's more just her profile and her standing with them.
Right.
So, yeah. But
all right, let's see.
So.
For actor in a limited series, anthology series, or motion picture made for a television, the nominees were Taron Egerton for Blackbird, Colin Firth for The Staircase, Andrew Garfield for Under the Banner of Heaven, Evan Peters for Dahmer, and Sebastian Stan for Pam and Tommy. I got 3 out of 5 here, Joyce. The other, I had Evan Peters, Taron, and Sebastian. I missed Steve Carell and Michael Shannon for George and Tammy. So I got one George and Tammy right, not the other one.
This is another category I would have gone 5 or 5 in.
So what happened?
I dumped Colin Firth. I just went completely off The Staircase.
Right.
And then I put in Ben Whishaw for This Is Gonna Hurt. So This Is Gonna Hurt because I got it wrong. So
right.
Yeah,
so
but I got the other 4.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this when we did the predictions. I was like, I don't think these older shows would really resonate, but also there wasn't a lot of options here. I do think I'm a little surprised Steve Carell didn't get in. I predicted him, but
we did talk about how Domhnall Gleeson could get in for that instead, and he did.
Yes.
So
I feel like we were close, at least. Next
they just went father and son.
Yeah.
As voters.
Performers and actors in a supporting role in a limited series, anthology series, or motion picture made for television. The nominees were Jennifer Coolidge for The White Lotus, Claire Danes for Fleischman is in Trouble, Daisy Edgar Jones for Under the Banner of Heaven, Niecy Nash for Dahmer, and Aubrey Plaza for The White Lotus. And I got there 3 out of 5. I had Aubrey Plaza, Jennifer Coolidge, and Niecy Nash, and I had Lizzie Kaplan for Fleischman, who is also a supporting actress in Awesome, and Megan Fahey for The White Lotus. And I gotta say, if the Globes were voting this morning, she absolutely would have gotten in, but they didn't, and too bad, I guess. See you at the Emmys.
So I got 4 out of 5 here.
Way to go.
And I also made a change here last night, but obviously it was a wash.
What was it?
Because as I said, I went off the staircase. So I had
Right.
Juliette Binoche previously. And then I took her out and I was like, I don't know who to put in here. So then I pulled at you. I was like, Chris would be so proud. And I put in your girl, the bold type star, Megan Fahey. So I had 3 White Lotus chicks in here too. And I was like, I don't. And this is also before the finale when everyone lost their shit over her performance in the finale. Right. But even then I was like, I don't think it matters. And I was like, she's definitely gonna get the Emmy nomination. I don't know about the Globes. They're not getting the Globes, obviously. But I'm glad I stuck to my girl, Daisy Edgar Jones.
You were on Daisy Edgar Jones. That was great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the White Lotus choice. I actually think, I know it's like silly, but I'm like, it will get another like many Emmy nominations. It's gonna steamroll again.
It's gonna hog them up again, and I do think Daisy would have gotten in at the Emmys if it were not for the unlimited ballot and the White Lotus hogging up like 17 slots. So
the White Lotus at the Emmys this year is gonna have at least Aubrey Plaza, Jennifer Coolidge, and Megan Fahey, and then I think you'll have at least one of the 2 Italian actresses who are amazing, if not both of them, getting in. And you could have Haley Lou Richardson as well. So
it's just gonna be like 2 shows again, and the other it'll be like it's sort of like Seth Rogen this year at the Emmys, where he was just like the solo nom against like 2 other shows.
I mean, I think White Lotus could have like 5 actress nominations at least this year. And then supporting actor in a limited series, F. Murray Abraham for The White Lotus, Domhnall Gleeson for The Patient, Paul Walter Hauser for Blackbird, Richard Jenkins for Dahmer, and Seth Rogen for Pam and Tommy. I just will be surprised to know I got only 2 out of 5 there, because I really went ham on The White Lotus in the end, and I put Tom Hollander in and Michael Imperioli.
You went like in the wrong. Well, I guess you didn't do it in the wrong category, but you went. It is the wrong category in that like they didn't care about the actors as much as the actresses.
I gotta say, Tom Hollander, I think we'll get in at the Emmys. He's amazing performance on this season. It's so good. He's incredibly good. I don't know about. I think F. Murray Abraham would too. I don't think Michael Imperioli would get in based on this the content of the show. I'm surprised Ray Liotta missed here. It just seemed like such an obvious like Golden Globes posthumous nomination. But there you go.
I got 3 out of 5 here because you know what I also did last night. What? Who did I drop? I don't even remember who I dropped. But then I pulled another you and I put in Matthew Good.
That's Joyce. Even I didn't have Matthew Good in.
I don't remember who did I have here. I don't remember. Oh my gosh.
I mean, would have been awesome.
And maybe did I have another White Lotus guy in here? I think I may have had. I don't know. But it was I'll just say it was hard filling out these 2 categories.
Not easy.
Yeah.
And we'll see what it's like at the Emmys, I guess.
The Emmys will just be White Lotus again.
Let's see the next. Supporting actors in a musical, comedy, or drama. The nominees were Elizabeth Debicki for The Crown, Hannah Einbinder for Hacks, Julie Garner for Ozark, Janelle James for Abbott Elementary, and Cheryl Lee Ralph also for Abbott Elementary. And I got 3 out of the 5 here. I had Cheryl Lee Ralph and Janelle James and Hannah Einbinder. And then I had Patricia Arquette and Ray Seahorn instead of Julie Garner and Elizabeth Debicki.
Yeah, I had 3 out of 5. I had Ray and Patty as well. But I had Cheryl, Elizabeth, and Julia. So they resisted Patty.
I'm surprised they did. What do you think is going to end up? Do you think this is a Cheryl Lee Ralph steamroll again?
Well, that would give potentially Abbott 3 wins. And I don't know. They don't usually do 3 wins. Like,
well, I mean, I think it would get 2 then. I don't think Quinta's going to win actress.
So yeah, it is. It's just the puzzle pieces, like the math. Like, how do you want to divvy up the wins? Mm-hmm. They usually, unless they really, really love something, they don't usually do more than 2 multiple wins for a show.
Right.
So wouldn't it be hilarious if Hannah won after she was in lead?
I mean, she could, right? Like,
I don't think Julia will win because, like, again, they've never been into Ozark.
No.
I could just see like Elizabeth winning. really, because it is such a Diana Charles season. She went supporting instead of lead.
I mean, she could, I guess, right? Like,
I could also see Janelle winning, like if they don't want to rubber stamp Cheryl.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know like tapes or they don't matter for the Globes, but she had a really good episode 2 weeks ago when she had to sub in for Janine.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, it was like, I love how Abbott is just writing Emmy tapes for each of its cast members this season.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know, basically.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think I would say Charlie Ralph wouldn't here, and then probably Abbott wins series and not actress. That would be my
Mm-hmm.
Jenga. For drama, comedy, drama, musical, supporting actor, Joyce. The nominees were John Lithgow for Old Man, Jonathan Pryce for The Crown, John Turturro for Severance, Tyler James Williams for Abbott Elementary, and Barry Winkler for Barry. I got 3 out of 5. I had Matt Smith for House of the Dragon and Ebon Moss-Bacharach for The Bear. I moved off Jonathan Pryce because I just was like, no, not happening. And I also did not have John Lithgow.
I had 4 out of 5. I also had Matt Smith in here. Again, picking the wrong House of the Dragon actor, but I'm happy I stuck to my Old Man men. So one day I will finish the season halfway through.
Someday we will.
But like I said, like John Lithgow is really good. And actually, like because my friend watched the screeners before I did, like in the spring, and she was like, I think John Lithgow could win the Emmy next year.
I mean, could easily happen, right?
Yeah. And yeah, so they went in on Jonathan Pryce.
I was surprised, not because of the content of the show. He's not in it a lot. And I know it's a supporting actor category and whatever, but like, I think
it's also because he's just Jonathan Pryce.
Right. He's very good on it. It just is like the quantity of role is not there.
So I don't know who would win this. I just don't feel like The Crown is strong enough to support him winning.
I mean, what about Henry Winkler? Even though Barry they don't love.
Yeah, they're not into. I mean, they could just give it to Henry because he's Henry Winkler.
That would be it.
Tyler James Williams would be great.
But then how many is Abbott going to win?
I know. Well, it's also because like this, they split the supporting categories for
right.
So it's hard to say what's going to happen here. I guess they could do John Lithgow or.
I mean, John Lithgow.
Either of the Johns. Well, I guess there's 3 Johns here, but the actual Johns, not Jonathan.
Right.
Like Lithgow or Turturro. I can see happening. So
maybe. And then that's it, Joyce. We're all done. The Golden Globes TV. We did it. What are your overall thoughts? White Lotus all the way. In the Emmys. Emmys 2023. White Lotus.
I'll wait for the White House Plumbers in March too. Did you watch that trailer on Friday?
I did.
Yeah.
I'll reserve judgment.
Justin Theroux's mustache. Emmy, please.
I'll reserve judgment until we see the show. The trailer's fine.
I feel like they watched the high visibility shows.
And which makes them just like the Emmys.
Yeah, just like the Emmys. They're not as myopic as the Emmys because they don't have the unlimited ballot like the Emmys. Right. I think if the Emmys didn't have the unlimited ballot, like the slate would be more like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I was a little disappointed because outside of like Hilary Swank, there's not a real left field nominee here.
None of this is too surprising, really. And it feels like they're like they have to catch up with the movies. Obviously, they have to watch Avatar, which is 3 hours long.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, I also have to watch like TV shows too. And I feel like they've definitely watched the older shows when they aired already. So then it's like these newer shows, like, are they catching up to it? So maybe like they watched a couple episodes of Fleshman's in Trouble. So
clearly they did, right? Because also she's not in a lot in the early episodes. But No, I think that's true. I mean, I think we've talked about a lot, like at this year especially, and we will see it with the Oscars. I think the shows that have and movies that have like a longer shelf life and a built-in like recognition are easier to get attention for. Like White Lotus, if it was a new show that was not White Lotus, I don't know if it would have had the same juice. If it was like the same show with a different title, would people have been, even if people were excited about it, I don't think it would have had the same enthusiasm here from the Globes as something like if
I
it was
also
just
think
called.
it helps for it to be an anthology, even though
Right.
Jennifer Coolidge in both seasons.
Right.
So then it's like if they were like, we didn't like last season, but like, I'll check out this season and
Right.
see. It's in Italy, and I'm from Italy. So,
Right. They're probably with foreign press. They got to have some.
all the Italians voted for the White Lotus Sicily. That's what happened here.
But not for the Italian actresses. How
But
come
let's see,
she will be?
like all the new shows. When did they premiere? So Severance was February to April. House of Dragon was August. What else is there? New shows. Old Man was June.
Right.
Patient was September, right? Blackbird was July. Dahmer was September.
Right.
Fleischman's Trouble was November. Is that the latest?
I
Under
think
Banner Heaven was April.
Fleischman show. No, George and Tammy, because that's just his own.
Oh yeah, George and Tammy was last week.
Yeah.
But they did a lot of press.
Certainly did.
Yeah, Gassa was April. Yeah, like all the Emmy nominees, like obviously they were from the spring.
Right.
And yeah, did I say Dahmer? I said Dahmer, right?
Yeah.
So what else is there? Oh, those all the new shows?
I think so.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff from the spring. Oh, The Bear, obviously, June. Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve, Alaska Daily. That was like October, November, right? Or September. It was fall. It was fall.
It's fall.
Yeah, Andor, same thing, fall. So
there you
yeah.
go. Joyce, that's it. So we won't be talking about TV now for a little while, I guess, until we do SAG.
So what are you gonna do to your SAG predictions now?
I haven't even honestly looked at them for TV in a little while, but I don't think nothing here really surprised me, honestly.
No.
I mean, like, I'm still like a little bullish on George and Tammy because, like you said, they've been doing a lot, and like I think it could actually do better at SAG than even it did here with Jessica. But I would definitely have Jessica in at SAG. Like, she won SAG. She's the.
Do you think Jessica could win here because they didn't give it to her last year for Tammy Faye?
I mean, probably, and also going on the idea that these are all like old performances that have already been honored or in some capacity or nominated. You know what I mean? Like, nothing here is like that fresh, I would feel like. So if she's the newest one, top of mind.
I also don't, even though I can see Amanda sweeping for this, she's definitely not as strong as like Kate Winslet was, you know.
And like, she is also very Globesy, I feel like, the performances, Amanda, but I feel like Jessica is like first out because it's top of mind. I think will help. I could see her winning. I don't know. I haven't made my picks yet, but we'll see. Joyce, this is so much fun. We'll talk to you. I guess are we going to come back to do some filmy thing this week also? I guess so.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why not?
You're going to do something to your Oscar predictions. I know it.
Oh, definitely. All right. Bye, Joyce.